sharing those moments with her in a way was like a thank you for sacrificing everything. And I don't know how it all came together, but it did, and it was special. Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. Oh, it's so great to see you.
Nice to see you too.
How are you feeling?
Wow, good. A little nervous.
Are you?
Yeah, I was asked yesterday what the first Olympic moment I remember, what sparked the dream, and I was 5 and watching you and Scott in 2010. So
that's so sweet.
This is a very wow, living my dream moment. So
we have so much in common. We have a figure skating connection, which we'll talk about. A hockey connection.
Yeah.
With your dad, drafted by the Leafs. We both skipped a grade. I skipped grade 8, you skipped grade 9.
Okay, yeah.
I was just thinking, I couldn't wait to sit down and chat through all of the things with you. You bounced around quite a bit, right? You moved?
I did, yeah. I was originally born in Ontario, where my parents are right now, and we're their high school sweethearts. It's where they met and grew up. I spent 10 years in Buffalo, New York, and then that first moved to Boston, and then we moved again 3 years later to Calgary, which is when I found skeleton. It worked out, but yeah, it was hard.
How did all of that prepare you for a life in sport, do you think?
Adaptability is definitely the biggest one. I think just being comfortable, being uncomfortable was maybe one of the biggest ones. I remember walking into my first day of high school, and a lot of kids, because they go from K to 8, they knew each other. They at least had someone that they knew. 14-year-old me, already kind of young to be there, that it's well, make the most of it. And I found an amazing group of friends, and I had a great time, but it's just that daunting feeling, doing it anyway, doing it scared is, I think, the biggest thing, especially in a dangerous, high adrenaline sport.
I can relate. I remember eating lunch in the washroom for most of my first semester in high school.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about young Hallie, I mean, that takes me back. But I appreciate that sentiment of doing it anyway, and doing it when it's hard, and leaning into that chaos, which, I mean, that's what you need now. You need that grit. You need that resilience. Mm-hmm. How does one even get into skeleton?
I get asked this all the time, and I ask people all the time because it's so random. It's not something you start when you're little, skating. It's not something well known. I didn't know what it was until a week before I tried it. I just happened to see a Learn to Push sign in Winsport, the Canadian Olympic Park in Calgary, and it said, learn to try skeleton. And I was what is skeleton? I had no idea. I had to Google it. And I thought it's just another ice sport that my family doesn't know anything about, coming from a hockey and figure skating family. It sounded super Canadian. So I tried it, and I fell in love, and it just kind of took me from there, but just by chance.
Is there a bunny hill that you started on? What is that? What's that first run down the track?
I crashed my very first run down. You start from lower down, you don't go immediately from the top. You do by the end of the weekend in Calgary, but I was going from maybe halfway down the track. My now coach told me, everyone else has made it down fine, you'll be fine. He lied. They were don't lift your head up, that's what everyone does. I just stared at the ice. I had no idea where I was. And next thing you know, I'm on my back, sled's gone. My dad has a video of it.
Uh-oh. Hold that start.
I ended right in front of him, and my mom was at the finish line and watched the sled go by without me on it.
And that's when you knew, this is the sport for me.
I knew that if I didn't try it again and give it a fair shot, I was never gonna go again. And I got beat up so much that first weekend. And I say there's a piece to it now. There was not a lot of peace when I started hitting walls. But there's a piece to, when you have your helmet on, you can't hear anyone. When you're going down so fast, up to 140 kilometers an hour, you don't have time to think about everything else going on, and it's quiet, and you're so present, and I think that's why I fell in love with it. But you get little glimpses of that, and then you're forever chasing that feeling.
Hallie Clarke, 19 years old.
Imagine how ready she is for this.
Great start from Hallie Clarke. Oh my goodness! Gold for Hallie Clarke!
Well, finding that piece really served you because you became the youngest ever senior world champion. You're a junior world champion. How do you manage the pressure that comes with that kind of success so quickly?
I didn't manage it well. I did not manage it well at first. It was like the highest of highs and then the lowest of lows coming down from it. But like at 19, I got thrown off the deep end with it, and amazing experience, but there was kind of this separation that a lot of people couldn't understand, that I was so grateful for what it brought me in that experience, but also really struggling. And internally, there was probably way more pressure than there was externally. And, you know, depression, anxiety, all of it just bubbled up, and I thought I was alone in it, and it got to a point I had to go home in the middle of the season. So I hit rock bottom and had to learn so much about myself to kind of pull myself out of it. But yeah, I did not manage that well at first, but I don't think anything prepares you for it.
What were some of the tools and support that helped you sort of pick yourself back up again and feel like you could face the hill again and get competing?
I finally got to my breaking point, and immediately I started working with a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a sports psych, mental performance coach, all these people, and even my coaches, trying to help me come up with a plan on how we're gonna work our way back if that's what I chose to do. But yeah, no, it was a big learning moment for me.
I can guarantee that everyone tuning in from Canada watching you wants just to see you find your joy and be that 14-year-old girl chasing a dream. Everyone's behind you. Now we have a lot to unpack on this table here. I'm gonna pivot because we have figure skating. We have this, which is representative of your world championship title.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start?
We can start at the beginning. I feel like there's a lead up to that.
I love it.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is. I think I want to say I was 6. I think this was my first show that I did that my mom actually choreographed. It was a little like 50s style, almost Grease inspired poodle skirt.
I think I have this exact costume that my mom made, poodle skirt.
Yep. Yep, my mom also. Yeah, it's special moments like that you fall in love in sport, and I think about how different my life would be right now if I didn't have a sport. And I think back to that little girl where it started and how connected I was in my family because of, it was a figure skating and hockey family. The dream stayed the same, the sport changed, but
that was foundational to your future athletic career, and what I love by the sounds of it is that skeleton has offered you your own identity. Yeah. And you've been able to take hold of your own career and find that autonomy.
Yeah. I've kind of grown in sport, and I kind of found myself through it.
When you look at this flag that was once draped around you following your world championship win, what emotions come to the surface?
A lot. I think of the moments I shared with my team and with my mom at the finish. I knew she was down there. I asked her to be down there. I'm like, whatever happens, you're the one that was up in the middle of the night with me taking my calls. The first thing I saw when I got up, camera was on me, I immediately looked at my mom. My mom is bawling her eyes out, and then immediately I start bawling my eyes out, and we had this moment that was captured on camera.
That's so emotional. Oh my goodness.
I do think back on that moment often, because they always remind me of they truly were you don't, whatever you choose to do, we are proud of you, but sharing those, my God, sharing those moments with her in a way was like a thank you for sacrificing everything. And and then sharing it with my teammates. They were the first to hug me, and we all went through a lot.
No, it's
I
real.
Hope it's waterproof makeup.
Your makeup is moving. You look perfect. But it's real and human, and a reminder, that sport sometimes forces us to hold it together when we need to. But there's so much happening under the surface.
Yeah.
And often the emotions come when we're talking about the support people around us.
Yeah.
That's contributed to our success.
Yeah. As my mom says, like, miracles do happen, because I don't know how it all came together, but it did. It did, and it was special.
Well, I'd say you made it happen. Thank you so much. Thank you for chatting and for sharing. I'm so sorry.
I knew it was going to happen too. It was a matter of when.